Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
The police force in the national capital is working on perception management. Police Commissioner Rakesh Asthana has in fact created a new division for perception management, basically to highlight the good work done by Delhi police for public safety. And the fact is, we saw during the pandemic when all of us were kind of hiding at home in a way, you could see the Delhi police out there on the roads. Over 30,000 Delhi police personnel got infected with COVID and 77 of them succumbed to it. If you ask me, I have been living in Delhi for the last 30 years. Delhi police is one of the most competent forces in the country. So why does it need perception management? Probably because its image has taken a hit of late. Last year you had this incident in Jawaharlal Nehru University where dozens of masked people armed with rods and lathis entered the campus, beat up students in hostels. It went on for a couple of hours. It has been about 21 months. The police has not been able to arrest a single person. Then we heard so many judges actually passing strictures against the Delhi police for its shoddy investigation into Delhi riots cases. So that could be the trigger for the police commissioner to think about perception management. But as I said, in my view, Delhi police is still by and large one of the best forces in the country. So in this episode of Politically Correct, I'm not talking about the Delhi police. I have picked on this perception management part just to talk about this larger issue of perception. Delhi police may talk about perception management. What about their political bosses? I'm talking about the Ministry of Home Affairs at the center. You have 3 ministers of a state for home affairs who are facing criminal cases. In fact, even Amit Shah is facing criminal cases. But let's get over with that first. In Amit Shah's case, there are 4 criminal cases, 2 of which were lodged in West Bengal and 2 in Bihar. And if you look at the details of those cases, they are largely political in the sense one of the FIR says about Amit Shah hoisting a flag with his chappals on. Another FIR is for Amit Shah calling Lalu Yadav Chara Chor. So you see these are political, basically the entire FIR, the basis of that FIR has been his political speeches. And a small thing that people have picked on, you may talk about his Sohrabuddin fake encounter case. I mean, just to mention it here. But the fact is, he has been acquitted in that case. Although and CBI did not go for an appeal against that verdict. So he's totally acquitted. And the 4 criminal cases we are talking about, they're not serious, more political in nature. So that over. Having said that, we come to his deputies. The 3 of his deputies, we have talked about Ajay Mistani, against whose acquittal in a murder case, an appeal is lying in the Allahabad High Court. Look at the other 2 ministers of state, Amit Shah's deputies who were there. So Nishit Pramanik, now he is the youngest minister in the Modi's Council of Ministers. Now Nishit Pramanik has 13 criminal cases against him. So I have looked at his affidavit that is submitted to the Election Commission while filing the nomination papers in the last West Bengal Assembly election. 13 criminal cases, and look at the charges. Charges range from murder, attempt to murder, making preparations for dacoity, possessing illegal arms, criminal intimidation, rioting, and so on and so forth. Very serious allegations. That's the second Minister of State for Home Affairs. Then we talk about Nityanand Rai. I'm going by his affidavit submitted to the Election Commission. He is facing charges of extortion, promoting enmity between different groups on grounds of religion, and so on and so forth. Not very serious offense as such like murder, attempt to murder, but criminal cases nonetheless. So all 3 ministers of state for home affairs are facing serious charges. Why would Prime Minister Narendra Modi induct them as ministers? So in July, if you recall, when he went for the expansion of his Council of Ministers, we in fact praised that move because he dropped many non-performers and inducted many fresh faces. Many people who were known for administrative skill, efficiency, like say Jyotiraditya Scindia, Ashwini Vaishnaw, many of them. We praised that thing, but what we overlooked was the induction of people who are facing criminal charges. So the Association for Democratic Reforms, a poll watch body, later on came up with an analysis. In 78-member Council of Ministers, 42% are facing criminal charges. That is 42%. And 31% of them are facing serious charges like murder, attempt to murder, dacoity, and like that. So why would a prime minister who had spoken at length, who even now who speaks so much about criminalization of politics. Why should he be inducting such faces? Not that he did not know about their background, about the minister's background, because every time somebody is to be inducted in the ministry, total intelligence vetting is done. All facts are taken into consideration only when they are inducted into the ministry. So, of course, the Prime Minister knew about their background. Why would he still induct them? That's a big question mark today, especially in the context of how Ajay Mr. Teni case is embarrassing the government. One would be probably, one possible reason could be that, the PM might have thought that they are all trumped up charges. But then again, given the seriousness of the cases, I really have my doubts. What could be the other reason? That he doesn't care? I don't think so, because we have talked about his seriousness when he talks about criminalization of politics. So it's not that he doesn't care. So what it comes down to is political compulsions. So if you look at all these three ministers of state, Nityanand Rai, a prominent Yadav face in Bihar politics. For the BJP, which is trying to kind of woo Yadavs away from the RJD, he is somebody who can bring Yadav votes. And he is pretty close to Amit Shah also, so he becomes one Minister of State for Home Affairs. Nishit Pramanik, he is prominent BJP face in West Bengal. He is Kuch Bihar MP. Even in the last assembly election when he contested, he won. So he may have 13 criminal cases pending against them, but politically, he is very relevant to the BJP scheme of things in West Bengal. Teni we talked about, in the last expansion, he was the only Brahmin face from UP. The BJP is trying to the Brahmins back into the fold. I won't say back because Brahmins have traditionally supported the BJP, but then of late there have been murmurs that Brahmins are getting disillusioned with the BJP, and so you saw how Jitin Prasada was inducted in the Yogi Adityanath cabinet, and before that Ajay Mishra was inducted at the center as a minister. Are these just the political compulsions? Now, technically, you may say, or what the Prime Minister may be thinking about, I suppose, is that, going by legal principle, you are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. So technically, you cannot really argue because anybody can file a case against anybody, but until that person is convicted, you cannot really hold them guilty. That can be the biggest argument in favor of the induction, which would actually prove that, okay, when Prime Minister talks about criminalization of politics, he is talking about convicted politicians, not politicians with a tainted image back home, even though those ministers may not be convicted. It's his choice. Technically, he is not wrong, but ethically, should it matter? To me, it matters. Probably it's up to you, you viewers, for the people of India to decide whether it's okay to induct ministers with such serious allegations against them, serious charges against them. As it is, coming back to Ajay Mishra, despite vociferous demand by opposition parties, and they have been agitating over this. They demand Ajay Mishra's sacking because you remember it was his provocative speech against farmers which actually triggered the entire thing in Lakhimpur Kheri. And it was his vehicle actually which ran over farmers. But the Prime Minister is not ready to drop him yet, probably because, as we have seen for the last 7 years, he is a strong leader, does not really yield to the demand of opposition parties. If that is the case, I don't know. Because otherwise you would expect him to cut the losses. BJP is hugely embarrassed by this Lakhimpur Kheri episode. And that too ahead of UP elections. You would expect the Prime Minister to drop him, but he's not. I leave this question of the ethical question, I would say, whether it's fine for the Prime Minister to induct and retain ministers with criminal charges and even give them home portfolio. They may not be cabinet ministers, they may be junior ministers, but giving them home portfolio despite the fact that they are facing serious charges. That's all from me in this episode of Politically Correct. Thanks for watching.